always, it's the stomach for me, honestly. It's the stomach for me. I so much love it. Everything is sitting. Oh, you guys, I don't think you understand. I'm sexy.
Hey, when I tell y'all, when I saw that video, I was like, I don't know who this sister is, but I got to have her on the show because this is way too much fun. If you are just joining, this is Kat's Corner. I'm your host, Mr. Kat Okade. This is the podcast, the one-on-one live series. And today, this little sister, she's about to be my little sister. She doesn't even know it yet. I'm about to adopt her into my little sister group of people because she's amazing. Her name is Msendoo Mbachilin. She is a content creator. She is an influencer. She is absolutely gorgeous, superly just confident. And she created a mantra that we should all sort of, embrace. Everything is sitting where it's supposed to be sitting. You can add whatever accent applies to your life, but I want to bring her in and welcome her to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited. It's your energy. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have injection in my veins. I love it.
Let me tell you something. I saw this on somebody retweeted it on Twitter. I was like, this woman is my bodhisattva. She's become my spirit animal. From now on, when I get dressed, I am going to repeat those words in the mirror. And I'm telling you, I posted it to my IG and I was like, look, from now on, this is what we're all doing. It's fantastic. So thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to have you. The way we do it on One-on-One Live, I always start off with the question for everyone. And that is, how are you doing today?
I am pretty good. I'm much better than I was yesterday. So that's an improvement, So I'm pretty good. Thank you. How are you?
The morning started off really early. I had to sit with one of my spiritual teachers, and what I thought was going to be an hour conversation literally lasted like 2 hours. It was dope. So I was like, oh, okay. So she planned out my life. She's like, here's your life in a book. And so, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good right now.
That's good.
So I don't even... So we live in a digital age. I'm going to assume that you are Gen Z. Is that a safe assumption? Am I going to?
Oh my God, I think I'm a millennial, but people say I'm a Gen Z apparently. So I'm like that, like really awkward space where, where the Gen Z starts and then millennial ends. So that's where I am.
Okay. So I'm Gen X. So I come from the era where we remember payphones, the internet starting. And at the same time, remember the first cell phones and all of that. So the way we all use social media, we still kind of tricky with it. And so you've come up in a space where being part of the social media space is part of what you do. It's a natural thing, an inclination to have all these, these tools. I want to know what drew you to this particular space. Like, did you? Because I went and looked. Of course, I obsessed over you once I saw the video, and I went and looked at everything from the hair color situation that went bad. Conversation with your mama, like I've just been like, oh, this is perfect content. So yeah, I've been a little bit, I have my moments. But you tend to focus. You're telling us your life and you're sharing things, but a big component is the body positivity, and I just think it's so important to have that. And I wanted to know how you got to that space.
I think a lot of the videos I do regarding like just body positivity, or just honestly all my videos, it's me talking to myself.
Right.
Like I'm like a lot of us, we suffer from like self-esteem issues and we don't like what we're wearing today. So like when I make these videos, it's things that I feel like we should be hearing every single day, because we are so unsatisfied with, every little thing. We're so self-critical, so the videos I make, it's just like, Msendoo, this is what you need to hear. So instead of like waiting for somebody to tell me, I'm going to start saying it myself.
I love it. And you shared, there was one video you talked about, because I think when you watch the videos, if you don't watch all of them, if you just catch the ones that are popping, you assume that you didn't have a journey, that you just woke up like, yo, I'm flying, this is where we are. And this is actually a journey for you. I remember there was a video you talked about your arms, and I was like, oh. Yeah. How did you get the courage to, you're saying you're talking to yourself, and at the same time, you're helping so many women. But how did you get the courage to kind of get in front of a camera and share all your business?
It's so funny because like I'm so blessed to have the group of friends that I have, and every time we see each other, so if we're going out to a party
Right.
or we're just like going somewhere, we're always like hyping each other up, and
Right.
it's just the same energy that I just figured that, you know, let me just put it in a video. You know,
Okay.
it wasn't like I woke up and said, this is the game plan, this is what you're gonna do. I'm so
Right.
shocked at how like the feedback has
Right.
been, honestly, because these videos I was just like, let me just like post it.
Right.
So that's just that with like putting it on the videos. It's like, I miss my friends, this is what they're probably going to be telling me, but you know, instead of waiting for somebody to tell me that, let me come and save myself.
In terms of how you decide to go about this, like, you know, we are living in an age now where everyone has, I mean, the creativity is just through the roof. I follow so many of like sort of end of the millennium, beginning of the Gen Z folks. The way you all approach camera work, the way you approach what you share, it's really, really impressive. When you think about how you are framing yourself now, particularly in the pandemic, what are some of the things that you really, really are excited about? What are some of the things that you still want to explore?
In regards to
your content creativity?
You know, like right now, and I think right now for me, there's a lot of pressure of like keep releasing like the videos that I'm releasing.
Yeah.
And I definitely do want to do that, but then it's not every day that I feel, you know, that bubbly and that hype.
Right.
I'm just like right now, I'm looking forward to just doing things that just make me happy. And it's something that I always preach a lot, just things that like that are fun and no pressure. So in regards to that, that's what I'm looking forward to, just exploring things that I can do that makes it, you know, that people can definitely enjoy as well. You know, I don't want to bore everybody, but just things that I enjoy. I enjoy. So yeah.
And how do you manage the pressure though? I mean, when you throw a video up and it gets like retweeted like 100 and some thousand times,
oh my
like
God,
you're saying you didn't expect it. You just threw something up there, and the next thing you know, like,
I think now that like for me, it's like I kind of have an expectation, unfortunately, because I'm like, oh, these videos did good and everybody's asking for these videos. And now I'm bringing this, like, you know, so what I do is usually anytime I put my video up, I turn off my phone and I let it do what it does. You know, and my friends know not to hit me up after my video is up. And also it's like I've gotten to a space where like I don't do it, you know, just for the numbers. I do it because like people message me and they say these videos are really helping me. I've gone to a space that, you know, like if it's helping people, obviously that's what I want to do. And one of my biggest thing, I think not growing up, but like in college when I was like kind of coming into my, you know, my person and just the woman I am today is that like if I can like positively, you know, influence like one person, I'm okay. Like I'm fine with that. So I mean, my followers, for the most part, they know like I'm taking like a little break because I have a lot of things happening behind the scenes. So just like, you know, pacing myself as well. I think that's super important.
Okay. When you so let's get into your personal business because you know Auntie is nosy.
Oh my God, Auntie!
Auntie is nosy.
Now I'm shy.
You have to share now. You have to share. So one of the things, so because of, you know, when you're, I call us hybrids, kids that are, you know, have direct immigrant lineage but are born in this country, and some of us better than others are able to switch accents and go back and forth. So when I first saw the video, I assumed that you were doing this from like Lagos. I swear. I was like,
really?
At the background, I was like, that looks like is that a Lagos bathroom? I don't know. So that's why when we were emailing, I was like, well, what time zone are you in? Because and you were like, oh, Miami. I was like, golly.
Oh my gosh. Do you know what's interesting is that I did a BBC Pigeon interview like recently, and she was like, I'll drive to you. And like she's in Lagos. And I'm like, babes, I'm not on the continent.
Look, people tell me my accent is trash, so I'm okay with that. But I swore I was like, oh, she's in Lagos. I'm gonna have to figure this out. I'm gonna have to do a special one because of the time difference. I was like, you know, that's what I'm like. So, what time zone are you in? So were you born in Nigeria or were you born here?
I was born in Nigeria. Yes.
Okay. So
I left. I left when I was 8 years old. I've never been back since I left.
Really?
I've never. Yeah, I've never.
You gotta
been
come on a
back.
trip with us. It's so much fun.
No, seriously, I'm super excited. And then I lived in the British Virgin Islands for a good amount of my life.
Okay.
And then I moved over here, I want to say like 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I grew up mostly in the Caribbean.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you, because when I watch your videos, I feel like I'm looking at like the confidence, the swagger. So Niger, it just is. Which is why I thought you were in Lagos. And then when I found out you were in Miami, I was like, oh, okay, that, okay, da 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 da. But when you think about, you haven't had some, you grew up there until 8. 8, you still have memory, and then you grew up in the British, what do you call it, the British Virgin Islands?
British Virgin Islands, yes.
So what do you notice in terms of what has been your observation, particularly around, how Black women are sort of, positioning themselves and working through their confidence issues? Do you find that outside of this country, it's a little bit better?
I think that is such an interesting question. I think in Nigeria, obviously, you're Nigerian, you understand there's so much pressure. I think Nigerians, human beings on a whole, are very insatiable. You can never really please them at all. And Nigerians especially, we're very big on optics. We are so big on optics. I think it's difficult, like, I want to say in Nigeria, I'm not going to generalize and say entire Africa, because I think there are different beauty standards.
Right.
I think it's a lot easier in America than Nigeria. In the in the Caribbean particularly, there's like everybody, a lot of people are Black, so right. It's sort of okay, but there's still that pressure. Just like Nigeria, in the Caribbean, it's like heavily influenced westernized culture.
Mm-hmm.
So you still have that pressure.
Right.
But then it's a lot easier over here for some reason. And I think maybe, well, recently anyway, a lot of people like coming out, being accepting of like how they look.
Right.
But in Nigeria, it's still like heavily like, how you present yourself,
Or, when you see your aunties and like, you're fat. And I'm like,
exactly, what? All that, and like Nigerians are super blunt.
Yes.
Blunt in the wrong ways, I feel. We don't care about
unsolicited advice. Just go stand next to a Nigerian and they'll offer you advice. Like, I didn't ask.
Like, not unsolicited advice, like, so it can, I think, like, it definitely can get difficult, like, over there, compared to here. I had a friend who just moved back home, and she complains every day about like just like her aunties, and not just even her aunties, her uncles. Men are heavily opinionated about the way women look as well, like down there especially. Right. So I think it's easy over here. I think it's changing a little bit. I think a lot of people are coming into their own, but it's like we have such a long way to go.
But I think that's the beauty of what you're doing. Again, everybody thought you were Olivia, so we're like, good. She's gonna be holding it down for us and making sure we didn't know any better at the time. But I do think it is important to see that a darker skinned woman, who's got curves, who's not rocking all the weaves all the time, who's mixing it up. Like it gives a sense of reality that I think we are, particularly in Nigeria, especially during December. It's like, come on, y'all.
Oh my gosh.
Let's do something.
Heavy times during that December. It's so heavy.
December is a whole thing. I'm like, man, this is a whole thing. And it's the other piece of it is that because I'm often looking at culturally what happens when you are of the culture but not in the culture. You see it, like I see the things that I love being Nigerian. I really, really do. But I'm not Nigerian unless I'm here. I'm not,
absolutely.
When I go home, like, you're not Nigerian.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can definitely. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I can definitely relate to that. Because I think if I was in Nigeria, I don't think I would have this energy. I think it would still be there, but only because of the environment I'm in. People can really, again, we're so blunt. Like, even if I say that, I'm going to talk to myself like this and, talk to people around me like this, it's still like, even if you're allowing yourself, you're blocking that type of negative influence from you, people are still allowing it in their
Right.
own life, and then
Right.
you're allowing those people in your life. So it's like, find some way it's still entering into your space.
It is, and it's an interesting mix because you would hope that you would grow out of it, but I mean, even when I go home, like I'd be like, well, god dang, maybe I need to step it up a notch. Like,
Oh
you know,
my God.
it's even as clear as I am on what my aesthetic is, it becomes this challenge because you feel like you're pushing up against something, and even the way that society deems like what's acceptable. So me having locks was a really big thing when I first started going home. People kept wanting to touch my hair and like asking me if it was real, and I was like, "Can you back up off me right now? Just like back up off me."
6 feet.
Right. And it was my younger cousin. She was like, I've always wanted to lock my hair, but here it's seen as a terrible thing, so we don't lock her hair. But I found out that underneath my cousin's hijab, she was locking her hair, and then another cousin was locking, and they were all hiding it because of whatever, but they were locking. And I was like, look, clearly our family has something going on. Like, we should own this. But it was just disturbing to see these women that I thought were beautiful and confident and amazing feeling like they had to like close themselves in. Yeah. So I love that you are able to kind of be all of that. Have you gotten like specific responses from home? I mean,
I have not. I have not.
Pigeon wanted to holler with you.
What'd you say?
The BBC Pigeon wanted to holler.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
BBC Pigeon, you said that they reached out to you?
Yeah, they reached out to me, so that was super great, like doing it with them. In regards to like my family, nobody has said anything, because I'm a firecracker. Like, I remember my dad coming, like, I think when I shaved my head, and he was saying, "Msendoo, why would you do this? Like, your hair is your glory." I'm like, listen, give me money so I can buy Brazilian. Honestly, give me money so I can do my hair. Because if you don't give me money, I'm gonna need you to not say anything. They can't. Nobody, like, people in my family know they can't really mess with me because again, grateful that I grew up over here. I'm very vocal about how I feel, and you're not gonna push me around. You're not gonna make me feel like like I shouldn't be doing this, because last you guys are not paying for my upkeep. So let us be guided on what we say to Msendoo. Thank you very much.
This is interesting though, because even though you're born here, there's still a line you have to walk in terms of respect and housekeeping. But you know that you can go but so far with your dad before it's like, no,
I know. But my dad and I have such like an interesting relationship, because he's such a laid back guy. So it was so like, and then when it happened, like, he didn't really like sweat a lot. He was just like, I'm gonna tell her what it is. But he definitely did not expect like the response from me. And it's funny because he's always been the one who tell me that like the decisions I make, it's it's my decisions, and I'm the only one who's gonna suffer it. And he tells me that so I can listen to him. But when he tells me that, I'm just saying, okay, so I'll make the decision to make me happy and not you happy. Thank you.
Right. He thinks he's scaring you away, but
But he's right.
What about your mom? I saw the little video of you two together. It was cute.
My mom, thank you. My mom definitely does not like my haircut at all. She is not a fan at all. I remember my auntie Colin, and like both of them, and it's funny because she was never vocal about it. She saw me and she didn't say anything. But then my auntie called and she was like, "Why did you cut your hair? Why did you scrape your head like that?" That's what she said.
Scrape. It's so nice. Why did you scrape your head off?
Why did you scrape your head? And then I think because she had support with my auntie, then she said like, yeah, I don't like it, look how she's not looking that far, and then but it was something I talked to her about, and like I told her that like I'm content with it, because my mom has short hair as well, but for her it's like I still have hair on my head, Msendoo, but it was still like this is what I'm happy with. Like I don't want hair on my head right now, and so you guys have to be content with that.
I love how bold you are, because again, I feel like you're kind of setting a tone for people who need to see it happen, but other people do it and see like, oh, it's not the end of the world. Besides this work, though, like what else do you do? Are you a full-time content creator?
No, so I'm, it's so funny because like I don't even still myself see myself as a content creator at all.
Okay.
I feel like I'm just like a little, like just a small girl just making videos. I am studying
You
for
see
my
my face.
GRE.
Small girl. 17,000 people are following you. You call yourself small girl.
It's so crazy. It's so
Ah,
crazy. I graduated last year, so I'm currently studying for public health.
okay.
Um, my dad's a physician, so there's that pressure of being a doctor.
Well, you're a Nigerian. Yeah, you're a Nigerian now. So it's doctor, engineer, and lawyer. That's it.
Right, doctor, and maybe accountant,
Maybe
maybe.
accountant. You get money.
Right. So like I'm planning to do a master's in public health.
Of course you are.
Yeah, right. My dad still thinks I'm going to med school, so I'm still trying to find a way to tell him that sorry, that's just not gonna happen. But yeah, that's what's going on right now for me. So I'm studying for the GRE, so I can.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What made you decide what on public health? Like what's your larger goal?
So my dad's a physician. My grandmother was a midwife.
Oh,
So
wow.
for the
Okay.
most part, I've had like medicine like around me, health.
Mhm.
I thought I wanted to be a doctor because I really do love kids. So I was like, okay, obviously, like your parents,
Right.
you can do this. My mom was like, Msendoo, you like children, so pediatrician. And so I've always been like into health, but I've been to like preventative care.
Okay.
I have a strong belief that like if you can stop it before it starts, then it's gonna save you money, and like it's something that has been proven.
Mhm.
If they put a lot of funding in public health, I don't think like we'll be having the problem we're having now. But that's
Right.
another topic. So I did an internship in the University of Michigan, and it was like a public health internship, and it was something like I never explored. So when I did that, I realized I'm really into global health prevention, health promotion. So I like that. But for me, I'm still like at a space of still trying to figure out exactly which route I'm gonna go. Because like for the most part, like the larger plan is like just being into something that preventative care, just
Right.
making sure that people have the tools, especially people low income communities, maybe some places in Nigeria. Because honestly, I think that the way our healthcare system is down there, like there's no reason why we should not be pouring a lot of money into public health at all.
It's unnecessary.
It's so unnecessary. I have like the biggest bone with like healthcare in Nigeria because it's really like it's affected me personally as well and my family. So that's what I'm doing. I'm still what route I'm gonna take. It's still like being written. So I'm,
So what part of Miami are you in?
So I say Miami, but I'm really in Fort Lauderdale. I just say Miami because everybody, because like usually when I say Fort Lauderdale, they'll be like, "Where is that?" I'm like, "Oh, Miami." That's
So I
just
grew up in Miami.
Did you?
Yeah. So when you said that, I was like, "Oh, that's cute."
I mean, I live in Coral Springs, Fort Lauderdale area, so it's
Wow.
like
Yeah.
all the way like in the west.
Yeah, I mean, my brother loves Fort Lauderdale. He lives in North Miami, but Fort Lauderdale is like his favorite
I
place.
love Fort Lauderdale
Yeah.
too. I don't think I came here. When I moved back down here, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Houston because Houston's a lot cheaper than down here.
Right.
But I just really, really love palm trees and beaches.
Yeah,
I just really, really love that. So
I mean, you grew up with that, so I can see why that's appealing.
Oh,
to you.
right, exactly. I was like, that makes so much sense.
And low key, Fort Lauderdale, in my opinion, has better beaches because they're not as used because it's
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
my brother like tried to convince me I was like, I ain't going to Fort Lauderdale. So I went for a vacation just to get away, and I was like, wow, it's quiet, the beaches are cleaner, and it's just easier. So yeah,
Fort Lauderdale, it is a lot easier.
Low key, the way to go. Like if you're looking for something easy breezy. When you think about so I've gotten in your business. I'm going to continue to get in your business. How has the pandemic been for you? As someone,
oh my God,
who from a public health standpoint, do you just want to throw things? Like, what does that feel?
I do. I want to throw things, sharp things.
Right.
It's, I think, it's because it's interesting because I started following this whole thing when it started in China, and I was freaking out because I was like, why aren't we setting off alarms yet? And then January came, and then said, oh, like I'm seeing like the numbers still go up like in China. February, then March, I said, hey, so you guys were not listening. You were not listening. So I was so frustrated. I was like, why? Because the World Health Organization, who took a long time before they started, making alarms. It's been very, very difficult because I think when we started like the whole lockdown, nobody's going anywhere. I was in my room for 3 straight days. I didn't open the window. I didn't go anywhere. And honestly, it affected my mental state. I have a little brother. He's 5 years old. He's the cutest thing ever. So sweet. He can really do no wrong. But at the sight of him annoyed me. And then I think the next day, I think the third day, I was like, no, I'm actually gonna go out because when everything happened, it was like lockdown. Nobody go anywhere. If you go anywhere, you get COVID. That type of thing.
Right.
I went out for a drive, and it was just like I felt so happy. So I think that it was then that I realized that, okay, I'm still gonna have to like go outside to, breathe, and like the beaches were closed, so which was really sad because obviously like down here everybody would flock to the beaches. Right. For my mom, I think this has been good for her on a certain level because my mom works so much. And this time like her hours were cut. She got to like come home and she had to sleep. Yeah. My mom got to sleep, and it's just something she doesn't really do. She spent more time with me and my brother. My brother definitely is just used to having her around like 24/7 now. So I think like obviously because of the life lost, I cannot say this is a blessing. Right. But then looking at like silver linings, like I'm happy like my mom got to rest. It does get like super boring because you do the same thing day in, day out when you have to be inside. Right. But then again, like it forces you to be creative. It forces me to sit down, go in my bathroom and make videos. So yeah, I think it's been okay. It should be better. I think the whole thing should have ended by now, but
I mean, I think that's the part that a lot of people are struggling with. I remember, and I've been telling this story throughout the series. I was in Nigeria when I heard about Wuhan. It was in December, and they were like, it was like smatterings because there's a lot of Chinese in Nigeria. So it was like the news was talking about this thing in Wuhan, and they were like, well, they've had this situation since I think they said since November. I was like, well, that means it's been going on since September. Yeah, I remember feeling like, yo, this thing is probably going to hit us. I did not expect it to be this bad.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. And I think that, the interesting, I think for the United States particularly, I think it's this bad because of just how badly we've managed it. Right. I think that if we were more serious on like the lockdown, but then it's understandable because I don't think like the economy and just like there's no provision for us to say that we're going to, because people have bills to pay. Right. It's not like the rent is still coming. I remember going to this beauty supply store. It was a Black-owned beauty supply store. And that's when everything had closed down, but I was like, I have to do braids on my hair. I have to. So I found her, and then I was just asking her how they were, how everything was going, and she said that she's still open because at the end of the day, the bills are still gonna come. It's not like they're pausing the rent for them. So it's like the economy is not really set up to like for people not to work, unfortunately, because they're not providing anything. Like they gave us one stimulus check how many months ago? They're not giving us anything now. So I understand why people are still working. If there were more provisions to like make us comfortable and force us to sit in the house, then like this thing would have been gone for a long time.
But the other part about it is that the thing that I'm most fascinated, because when you start going back to Nigeria, depending on how you go, because the part that goes knowing that blue passport gets you in a lot of doors, lets you do a lot of things. And if you're not careful, because of the way Nigeria is set up, your little middle class lifestyle, you out here balling, you don't have to when you go home.
Well, yeah.
You don't. But it got me thinking about, people are always sweating the U.S. The U.S. I remember going to a party and getting into an argument with dudes who were like, I like your president. Trump is this. I was like, he is trash. Like
it's funny because like I understand why Nigerians like Trump.
I do too. Yeah,
understand.
exactly.
I understand. So I'm not shocked at all. But then like in regards to, like just the blue passport, like I've had a lot of people carry their blue and green passports. So like as soon as they land, they'll show them the green. So but nobody will pull any wool over their eyes, says I'm still, I'm still a native. Don't try anything. Try not to see anything.
Right. But it all, the thing is that this pandemic, I think, has really shown where America has holes.
Absolutely.
The leadership is really, I won't claim, when people are like, well, we didn't have, I'm like, I handled what I was supposed to handle. This leadership didn't do what it was supposed to do, and that's why we're here.
I think that America is like Nigeria with lipstick on, honestly. That's what I think, because there's no way America with milk and honey. No, with what? No. It's not it, because it just feels
we
like
pretend we have infrastructure. At least Nigeria's like, we have no infrastructure. But here we're like, oh yeah, we do. We really don't.
Like for somewhat. But then when you look deep inside, it's not. It's like it's made with paper that if small water comes, you just melt it, blow it away. Oh God.
No, but it's a good point, and I think that. There was a friend of mine, we were texting back and forth. He was like, well, what's going on? He's like, I'm watching the news. What's happening in the US? I was like, it's a dumpster fire. This is a trash country. Like, we have a lot of issues with this president. He's not taking it seriously.
Nothing. He's not taking it seriously at all, which is really sad, because people are actually dying. It's not like people are having it and like recovering. People are actually losing their lives.
And it didn't have to. And I think that's the part. And I, as a public health person, that's got to be frustrating when you understand the very small things we could have done.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, this could have been easily avoided. Like, maybe it would come, like maybe the corona would have just blown like maybe a month. Right. And like, if we actually just stayed put, we would have actually just been done with this by now. But then there are immigrants. There are a lot of like immigrants, like my mom, like she'll go to the grocery store and she'll put mask under her nose, and it frustrates my life, because what's the point? Why is it under your nose? So we can definitely blame of like the government, but a lot of people still aren't taking it seriously, because there are like parties going on right now.
Well, you're in Florida, and I've told people don't understand that Florida is it's a whole nother level of.
It's a different country over here.
Yeah, like super real. Like Florida folks are just a whole nother. Like, I hated growing up in Florida. I absolutely hated Miami, and so I was like, when people were like, "Well, what's going on in Florida?" I was like, "That's what Florida does, though." That's
it's just Florida.
Florida, Georgia, like Texas, like all those. They're like, whatever.
Because the first thing, like initially, everything came say, black people can't get it. Black people can't get it. So we took that upon our heads.
I was like, who told you that lie?
Right? Stop. And now it's more black people that are dying from it.
And I even have like my nephew, God bless him. He was like, Auntie, don't get the COVID test, because they're giving people COVID with the test. I was like, boy, if you don't get off of YouTube,
I heard that.
With these conspiracy theories, stop it. Just stop it. I get it, but just stop that nonsense. Like, no, Auntie, I don't want you to get COVID. I was like, so you're telling me that you think that me going to get a test is going to give me COVID?
You give me the COVID. Like, it's like on the cotton swabs, they have the COVID.
The cotton swabs, they're purposely giving black people COVID. I was like,
no,
and he was dead concerned and serious. I was like, no, stop. That's and so even the misinformation, the way it sort of affected the black community is also, part of the problem.
It's definitely a problem. And I think one of the biggest things as well is just like I think at this point they really don't understand the virus at all. And so I kind of understand with the misinformation, but then it was like, because initially they were like, you don't have to wear masks.
I remember that. Yeah.
Then they said, you have to wear this mask, or if you don't wear this. So it was like, and it was interesting because like you saw like people in China wear masks everywhere. So like you were thinking like, shouldn't we be wearing masks as well? But they're like, no, you could. And so actually put this everywhere, So it's like, it's been like just a disaster, honestly. Just the way of how everything has been, handled.
Have you found that, because right now we're sort of in a state where we don't, like, one of the things that I had read was that part of the anxiety and the PTSD that we're suffering is that we can't futurize. So it's an existential crisis. Like, we don't know. Like, I can't plan for dinner. out in 2 or 3 months, because we really don't know if
Don't know what's going on.
we'll be able to do that. And so when I think about your, I know you don't consider yourself a content creator. I called you one because I ain't have nothing. I was like, well, that's what she does. But when you think about your creative, how you've been using your sort of creative outlet to work things out, like how do I ask this question? Does it help manage your anxiety when you can think about when you can put a video together and just throw it out there?
Yeah, so now that people are expecting things from me, that's actually created more anxiety for me, because before it was just like, honestly, like it's just like, yeah, like I'm just doing my makeup, let me just stand up and just do a video, but now I have to like kind of plan, like people are telling me this is what we want to see, this is, I know, and so on a certain level, it's creating more anxiety for me. Also just like because of like I want to like respond to people like everybody, but unfortunately I can't. That has created a level of anxiety for me. So I think for me, like pacing myself, and just like getting back to the reasons or how I was doing it. Because every time I did the video, it's like either like when I'm happy, I'm saying, no, you gotta go. Let's get something cooking.
Right.
So I think it has, I mean, like, you're right. Like, we don't know what's going to happen in the next few months. Like, we can hope that, like, all of this is over. But unfortunately, it's really not going to seem like that. I think it's just right now, it's just taking it the days as it come. The days as it come.
Are there things that you're doing in your daily life or daily practice that help you along the way?
Yes. Oh, my God. Turning off my phone.
Okay.
Turning off my phone. Because like it's before, when this year started, I had like this whole New Year's resolution: don't be on your phone, don't social media. What? No, we're going to stop that. And it's just funny like how everything has turned around.
That's hilarious.
I'm laughing at myself now.
Yeah.
But like just not having times where like, okay, I'm going to be active and like this is the time, but then you're gonna take yourself away from that. Like spending more time with my brother, because right now he's just like home, just like watching TV. My brother is like, he's bougie, he doesn't like going outside and play, because when it's hot, he's like, he doesn't want to sweat, he doesn't like stress. He doesn't like stress. Anytime I say let's go to the park, he's like, you want me to sweat? So I'm trying to spend more time with him. But just definitely unplugging like really does help me. It just like, because again on social media there's an oversaturation of opinions and just like information, and it really can get to you sometimes. I think there was a time when we can talk about like the whole George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, all of that, it was just every single where you went, it was just that information. And it's understandable. Like, yeah, I want to know these things, but I don't want to see it everywhere because now it's affecting me. And it definitely affected me as a Black woman, because at that time, not just a Black woman, it's a Black Nigerian woman. Because at that time, there was the whole deaths in Nigeria with those two girls, and then George Floyd, and then Breonna Taylor, and then there were like some trans people dying in Tallahassee as well. And it was just so much. And if I just kept, just being on and like saying that, oh, I have to know what's going on, I'd have lost my mind. So the detaching was so important for me.
And in the detachment, what comes? Like what because at some point you unfortunately have to go back to it. You don't have to, but I guess.
I know, but like for me, it's just like kind of like peace. And like, because like I know there's so many things going on in the world right now, and I think honestly we have to learn to at least like say we can't save the world. I did a research when I was at my university, and my director, every time I talked to him, because I was gonna do it in Nigeria and Tanzania, it was public health related, and I just wanted to, everything on with the information I was given, it just seemed like I wanted to save the world. I just like, this problem is here, but like with this problem comes that problem, and this problem is a direct indication of that problem. And I think just like saying that, okay, for me, it's centering myself and saying that, okay, this is what the issue is. This is what you can help. And just honestly praying to God for guidance, because it's actually like, it's not easy. And you can definitely go mad if you try to put everything on your shoulder. So like, just like centering myself, that detachment, solace, and maybe watching some guilty pleasures, maybe watching some ratchet TV, something so my brain would not be, just
Right.
going 25 miles an hour or something.
How are you all handling, like, your brother's 5, and like I'm a professional auntie. I have 10 nephews and nieces. Yeah, it's a lot.
I can't.
Yeah, it's real. Like, I have to go visit pumpkins today, and if I don't, I'm actually putting all my gifts together. So when I go, they're like, right. We have to gift them because one pumpkin number 8 is always like, so what'd you bring me? Like,
That's funny.
I love you, but I ain't seen
But
you
where's
on
the gift?
Sunday, and what did you bring me? So yeah. Pumpkin 9 texts me and was like, Auntie, when are you coming? So she's like 7, so it's adorable. But when you, I'm thinking about all of them in school and what that means. Have you found for your brother, like, because they're so young, sometimes you don't know how to ask them how they're doing. How is he coping with it?
So like, he's so amazing. I think from since he was a baby, he's just been like the best boy. Honestly, the best boy. My brother does not complain at all. Like, when he complains, that's when like something's bothering him. He's
Right.
been okay. He's been okay. We've explained to him like, oh, like the whole situation going on, and then he asks like questions to like clarify.
Right.
He watches TV a lot. He's on his games a lot. We're trying to put a lot of educational stuff, so it's not just like
Right.
just shows. When he doesn't feel okay, he comes to us and he just sits with us, and
Okay.
that's just for him. He's content with that.
Mm-hmm.
We have been trying, because I understand like how boring it can be. We've been trying to like just do some more stuff with him, but then it can't be easy, just like because we don't have any other child in the house, and I am how old? I'm like over 20 years old. It's not like I can play with him all the time. He likes playing Beyblades, so he comes to me and we play Beyblades once in a while. But it's just like constantly, like, because he wouldn't say anything. Like, if he feels bad, he wouldn't say anything.
Right.
So it's just us being on like our P's and Q's, just making sure at least he, and he's such a grateful kid. Like, any small thing you do, he'll love it. He doesn't even care. He will love it. So I'm grateful for that.
So as far as school is concerned, that you guys are going to be remote as well, right?
Oh my God, I don't even know what's going on with that one at all, because we just like, because there's no information. There's like people are in school, people are not in school. I am opting for homeschool. I'm opting to put him in homeschool for at least this semester, at least, because it's sad because he was supposed to enter kindergarten this year. I know. So I'm still trying to figure that out. I think my mom hasn't had time to figure it out yet, but we're still like working on it.
Yeah.
It's
rough. I mean, I think it's rough for everyone, but I think to be a kid at this point in time, it's because you already don't have control because you're a kid, so you got to do what everybody tells you.
Exactly.
And, on top of it, now you can't see your friends. You got to get in front of a computer to learn. And it's So what gives you hope?
My brother, actually. My brother. I'm 23. I'm 22. Wow, I'm aging myself.
You are Gen Zer. You need to stop playing.
I'm going to be 23 this year, and he came when I was like, I think 16. And he's just honestly been like my biggest, like, so he's just so sweet. Everything I do in regards to like the move I make, which is so weird, like I do it for him. People think he's my child. But he actually, and he's just like, you see that innocence in him, and it's something that growing up like that honestly depletes. Because you experience life. But like with him, through his eyes, I see like so much possibilities, and like it's like a renewed, Msendoo with him. So like he definitely gives me a lot of hope. I think people around me as well, like my friends, and how resilient they can be, that definitely gives, because me by myself, honestly, I'll probably just be in the trenches, just sad. Oh, what is me? Everything is going wrong.
I can't go out. I can't go to party. I can't get dressed. This is terrible.
Get but just like with him and just seeing like how he wakes up every day just ready to maybe learn something new, like ready and just like happy. Like I don't know which day that this kid has woken up sad. He wakes up happy, comes, gives me kisses and hugs every morning. And he's just like really just like my hope right now.
I love it. So in terms of you, I know you can't discuss the behind the scenes of things that are popping off, but what are some of the things we might be seeing soon? You can't give the specifics, but like
I mean, you guys are definitely going to see, you know, a more structured YouTube. So it's because I have like YouTube, you've seen like my YouTube and more longer videos from like, you know, like Instagram to YouTube. So like because people do ask for like longer videos.
So people just come in and start requesting what they want from you.
I just said, Auntie, this is what we want. Come and do it for us right now. You know, and it's funny because like I've made it a point to keep the videos on like Instagram and Twitter just 1 minute because I know people don't have that long attention span. So just like more structured videos from Instagram to like YouTube, more videos on like body positivity, but also like, you know, men and things like that because that's a huge part.
Your stories about dating, girl, it's too much.
I've gone through so much.
And the thing is to now find out how old you are. I'm like, when did you have time? How was that even possible?
It was in college. Instead of reading my books, I was going to.
Hey, so I see what you are doing. Yeah.
I'm in tears. No, I've had very interesting interactions with men, and like I love sharing it. I love sharing it because it's just funny. It's not like I'm not even angry. It's just actually funny at this point.
No, it's hilarious, but it made me think that you were older.
Oh, right.
Because I was like, damn, you know, like, okay. And then you tell me how old you are. I'm like, when the hell did you have time for these shenanigans?
All these things happened in the span of 4 years, bro. 4 years.
You were busy and you managed to graduate on time. That's impressive.
Thank you.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
You're a testament to your parents' goodwill because
Abby, all my mother's prayers, prayer point, night vigils, they worked. It all worked.
Don't sleep on the night vigils.
Right?
So, oh goodness. But I really appreciate this is I've had so much fun with this conversation. I was like, I don't know where this is gonna go, but let's see.
I know I was nervous. I was like, I don't know if this is going to be like serious. Like, you know, I really appreciate it because every conversation I've had is just like kind of like a one type of question that they've asked, and it's like, you know, having to repeat it multiple times, but trying to like change it up a little bit. So I'm really happy because this was like a very rounded, like, you know, just like about me, but still.
It's about the whole person. It's about the whole person. So I appreciate that. So, I mean, in terms of, so I am going to ask, Auntie is going to continue to get into your business.
Oh my God, Auntie.
I have to now because I have to look and see what you're doing. When we think about dating, one of the things that I have been, I told you I'm getting your business. Because so we're at different age spectrums. I literally am old enough to be your auntie. I know I don't look it, but
Auntie, you don't look a day over 16.
You
don't look a
I need to be legal. Let's say 21. Man. Let's just say 21.
21.
So we can go out. I mean, at this age, I still go out with you, so I don't have to worry about that. But when we think about, I had this really interesting conversation with the sister, and the thing that was really bothersome for her was this whole idea of how do you deal with dating and all of these things in the midst of a pandemic? Like, what does that look like? How do you kind of encourage building in relationships? Because of where you are in your age range, you know, that, not to say that it's more important to you, maybe, I don't know. But when I was looking at some of the stories around some of the shenanigans with the men's, I was wondering, like, what does that look like now? Like, you're in terms of your peer group, how are you all feeling about that? Although you guys date differently.
Yeah, no, we definitely date different.
That was different.
We are, right now, I just don't have time, which is so interesting because it was in school that I was supposed to say I don't have time. Right now, I just don't have time.
Right.
I've tried to strike up conversation, but I'll just be like, I just don't want to talk to anybody right now. So I'm at the space like where like I don't, maybe there's somebody I might like, or auntie, I'll not lie to you. Maybe there's just somebody. But for the most part, it's just like I'm not that interested now, so it's not bothering me as much. Prior to this, I'm very big on like going on different dates. Like I'm always telling my friends, like, just go out, have fun. You don't know who you would like, you know. So obviously it's difficult going out on a date right now because like things are closed down. You don't know who has COVID. But just like being open to like people and talking to people. For me right now, lots of the men that I talk to are very boring. I don't have the energy at all. And like coming into my person, it's like, because before I would kind of like give a certain type of Msendoo, a certain type of Victoria, then maybe later on I'll reveal who I am, like, you know.
Okay, you say you're representative and then you decide. Okay, all right.
Exactly. But now I'm at a space where like this is who I am. Like, you know, you're not going to get somebody different. And like some people are still coming sending their representatives, and I know when it's a representative. So it's just like right now I'm just like, okay, like I'm content where I am right now, only because like I just don't have the time and people are boring. I'm not gonna lie, people are very boring.
You find, well, I mean, you're kind of a rock star, so I can totally see that. Do you find that people confuse your public persona? Like they assume that who they see in these clips is all that you are, and then you have to like,
yes, and it's something that definitely bothered me for a little bit, because like now I'm not shouting, and you know, sometimes I have my highs and lows in a conversation, but for the most part I like to be laid back sometimes. Like that's just like another personality of me. I'm late, I don't like to shout, I don't like to, you know, but sometimes I want to shout, and I think a lot of times people expect that like very shouty version of me. And it's like that's not me all the time. So I'm also trying to find a way that like, you know, the people who support me, my gingers, they can kind of see that it's not every time that I'm going to be shouting. It's not every time, you know. So
well, I think you have the power to mold your audience to what you want.
Absolutely.
And I would just say be you. Like I've heard about burnout. I've seen what it can do to people. It's a lot. So you don't owe anybody. I mean, we're just lucky to have you, child, because what you have dropped has helped so many. So, you know, please don't feel like you don't feel pressure to do anything, but know that I think what you've done it's just such a positive, and it was such an upbeat way of thinking about things. Like I remember when I saw the video, it was the boost that I needed, because it was just, and things were looking so gray and so mundane. And here comes this sister who I'm thinking, she's doing it. And it was funny because I got to in Lagos. I was like, she must have money because her generator is quiet. Generator is quiet.
I mean, yes, the generators were not here. I'm not hearing Jen. Where's the Jen?
I was like, where is she? Okay. So, you know, the things, but it's important work. And I know that it's not the only work that you're doing. And I know that you didn't necessarily mean to go that route, but your aunties, there's a whole crew of aunties who are inspired by you, because we get caught up in our own stuff. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for sitting with us. I have one more question. I usually end the show. When you are able to be out in the world again, when COVID is under control, not necessarily gone, because we know it's going to be a minute, what's the first thing you're going to do?
Auntie, I'm going to the club.
Which club now? Which club are you going to?
I don't know which club, but a club is going to see me. A club is... I miss just being with my friends, particularly, and just like having fun and dancing to music that you can't even really understand the lyrics, but just I'm going to the club with my friends. I'm not gonna lie. I just really miss it. I love party. I love enjoyment. Of course. And you know, definitely I'm going to a party. Like the club, the beach, we can still go, because even though they've closed the beaches, people are still going to the beach.
I know people are. That's the one thing I know. Yeah, I know
exactly. Nobody cares. So like, I know I can go to the beach anytime, but like going to club, just having fun with my friends, that's definitely the first thing that I'm going to do. That's the least to do this.
And then you need to come home. You need to come hang out with us in December and like do a proper.
Absolutely, I do. I haven't been home in such a long time. I'm missing it. I'm missing the ice fish and roasted yam, because yam is my favorite. and I'm missing the suya, suya at night, it's just,
it's funny. I've eaten suya before, but this last trip in December was the first time I actually embraced suya culture, where you go in the middle of the night, hang out at Glover Park, and you like it was like, I've eaten more.
Amazing. It's a vibe. It's a
vibe. It's a whole vibe. And it's such a thing. My dad was like, you're eating suya. I was like, Dad, come on, man, stop playing. This is the business. So all of that. You have to come on our trip in December if we can figure it out. Because if they let us in the country, who knows?
This place is such an interesting place.
Because us foreigners are causing problems. So they're playing like, you Americans, you don't know how to treat. No, you can't come. So thank you so much, Msendoo. You are stay in touch. I will be stalking you. I will continue to stalk you.
Thank you.
Because as your auntie now, I have to pay attention.
Auntie Kat, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely welcome. Thank you, everyone, for watching and tuning in. We really do appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow with another dope Nigerian. Cuckoo will be here talking and singing. I don't know if he's going to sing, but we're going to see what happens. In any case, we really appreciate you watching. This has been a fantastic day. I'm so excited. So people can go and live their lives now that you've gotten this medicine, this blessing. Please make sure you follow Msendoo because she's doing great content. And we will see you next time. And we're out. This culture is. Take care. All right.